Today's social media segment is brought to you by Terrebonne General Health System. Your health is our legacy. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights. All right, it's time for good vibes. Things that happen off the set. We said brought to you by Clairol. You don't remember Clairol?
Vaguely,
You were too young.
maybe.
Yeah. Clairol was like a hair product or something.
Okay, yes.
Way back in the day.
Yeah.
All right, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
It's a good opening, by the way. All right, so becoming more assertive. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need that one. So for those that need it,
Yeah.
that's a good topic today.
Yeah. And
We're talking
they're
about
all
in general.
in anything. You can apply this to whatever you want.
Okay,
There's
guys,
plenty
you
of
can apply
science
to
on it.
anything. All right.
And the thing about being assertive is that people who are assertive, they know what they want. That's very important. And they know how to boldly ask for what they want. So they're good communicators. And there's plenty of science to show that people who are assertive, they enjoy more confidence, more self-esteem. They have better relationships. They're more successful at work. They're more productive. Because if you think about it, if you can assertively ask for what you want, you quickly get back what you need
I
and
know
you
what
can
I
keep
want,
going.
but I don't know if sometimes I know how to ask for it.
Okay, so this may help. All right,
Okay.
this may help.
All right.
And the thing about assertiveness, and this is something to note at home, is that we're really bad at predicting whether or not we are actually assertive. They actually did a study where they took a poll to see who thought of themselves as assertive or very assertive, right? And they found that and then they polled their friends and family, right? And they found that 57% of people who rated themselves as assertive were actually rated as under assertive by their friends and family. So if you're at home thinking I'm not assertive, you may be even overvaluing how assertive you actually are, and this can cost you a lot. So what falls into this category is people pleasers, people who don't value their own opinion as much as maybe they should, and so they're always pre-apologizing.
I'm somewhat assertive.
Okay. I don't know if that's true. I would rate you as highly assertive personally.
You think?
I would
don't
rate you
know.
as highly assertive. Well, let's take a test.
All right, let's do
take
it.
a test,
I'm
okay?
ready. Haven't had a test since Vanderbilt
This comes from
College.
Vanessa Van Edwards, The Science of People. Love her. If you like this topic, go deep dive. She wrote Cues and Captivate, these two books, okay? So this is a true or false test. Okay, don't overthink it. It's 7 questions, and I just want you to write true or false. The first question.
Right on. Okay, I'm gonna
Yeah,
get this
all right, for
bottom. Give me because it is corrugated desk. Okay.
Okay, so number 1, I can easily express my opinions. True or false? Number 2, I feel comfortable when I receive compliments. Number 3, I find it easy to set boundaries and say no. 4, I never hesitate to make phone calls. 5, if someone offended or hurt me, I would say something to them immediately. 6, when food is served at a restaurant that is not done to my satisfaction, I feel comfortable letting the server know, kindly and respectfully. Number 7, I can confidently and clearly state my needs. How many falses did you get false?
I only got one true.
Oh, so
I
maybe.
got 6 falses.
Okay, so if you have 2 or more falses, then you can do some work in your assertiveness.
Yeah.
Okay, so good. This is good. This is a good topic for you
okay,
then.
yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to being assertive, we're going to actually break down what assertive people do versus what non-assertive people do, and then it's just a matter of emulating those techniques, okay?
Can you be 2 different things one at work and one off of work?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
And the arenas in which you find yourself having a tough time being assertive, a lot of times when you unpack that, what's happening there is that you don't believe that you can actually be respectful and kind and be assertive at the same time. So want you to know, if that's what you're concerned about at home, you should know that you can absolutely be assertive, kind, and respectful. And Vanessa Van Edwards calls it being aggressively assertive. And when you're aggressively assertive, what you're actually doing is being kind but you're doing it you're going to have to reframe it for yourself. Because if you think about it, people pleasers are interested in having approval, right? And so they end up defaulting to yes. Every time somebody says, hey, can you help with this? Sure. Even though they don't check in to see if they're actually wanting to do it or if it meets their standards. And so they're overcommitting all of the time. And what ends up happening is that either they can't meet all the commitments, which is an unlikable thing, or they end up building resentments toward the people who are asking them to do things as though they don't have an option to say no. And that's also unlikable. So even though the people pleaser is trying to be liked by saying yes to everything, they end up meeting with disapproval from the outside because then they're actually committing to things that they can't. So one of the first things is that you want to give your claim time. You want to give yourself time to think things over. We have talked about this before. So when someone asks you for something, make your default to claim time. So let me think about that and I'll get back to you tomorrow at 2:00. Would that work? Right? Or you know what? I'm going to have to talk to so-and-so about this first, but I will get back with you. Right?
I have to process.
And the answer may be yes, but if you default to giving yourself time, you can actually discover within yourself which way you lean and then give a kind answer. And remembering that no is a complete sentence. So you can actually say, thank you for the invite, but that doesn't work for me at this time. Or, I think I appreciate you thinking about me, but I'm going to have to decline. Right?
Yeah. See, aggressively assertive people, I stay away from them.
Yes. Okay. So
I run.
Yeah. And that's what people have. People have it kind of convoluted that if you're going to be assertive, you have to be aggressive, right? And nobody wants to be aggressive.
I said aggressive, but if they're assertive, I'm okay with that.
Well, yeah.
As long as they give you a chance to make the decision.
Exactly. And so if someone's pushing, remembering that you can actually set the boundary and say no, because assertive people, they know where their values are and they know where their boundaries are. And they're very, very authentically aligned with that. And they communicate accordingly. But if it's uncomfortable for you because you have this identity that's like a people pleaser, give yourself that time so you can process and figure out a way that feels good to you to say no if the answer is no for you.
All right, Debbie, we're going to take a break right now.
Okay.
We'll be back right after this aggressive commercial. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. All right, we're back. Good vibes. Debbie Cox DeNova is in the house. There she is. We're talking about becoming more assertive. It's a good topic, by the way. So keep going because I'm learning some things.
Okay, so assertive people are really good at spending their time on the things that they're really good at and actually outsourcing the stuff that they're not good at. So one of the techniques that Vanessa Van Edwards uses is having four columns, okay? So you have A work, B work, C work, and D work. So at home, if you want to play along, go ahead and make your 4 columns, A work, B work, C work. And so in the first column, you're going to write the stuff that you really excel at, that you find yourself going into flow at, that you would say, like, this is the stuff that I do better than other people. And I really enjoy it. It fills me up to do it. So for me, that would be writing, okay? I love to write. Other people, not so much, but give it to me, I'll write it, right? Some people it's public speaking, broadcast, sometimes, cleaning, organizing, whatever it is. Write that in your A column. The toughest work of this, she said, is deciphering between what is A work and B work, because B work sort of likes to pretend to be A work sometimes. So you're actually better than the average at your B work, but you're not the best at it, right? And so go ahead and list things that are in this column that are not your favorite, but you do find that you're better than other people at it. And she said one good test is like your A work, you don't need coffee to get it done, but your B work, you're going to need a little cup of coffee just to get it going, right? Like just that little extra boost. C work is where you start to dread. Okay, so you're starting to feel drained out by it. You can still do it, but it drains you a little bit, right? And you certainly know more other people who can do it better than you. And then D work you should be eliminating, because this is the stuff that you are actually not good at, that most people are better than you at. Okay, so once you've listed out these columns, it's important to recognize that assertive people, they use their time and energy to actually stay within the A column mostly, and they outsource everything else. So they get people who, in other words, if organization is not your thing, or if design work is not your thing, you're giving it to someone whose A work it is, so they can actually do that for you. Because when you do that, you free up time and energy to actually dedicate to your A work. And so what it can look like is, hey, this area is my expertise, and what you're going to do is assertively ask for more of it in the world. So if you know that your A work is broadcast, right? And you're only doing a little dabbling. You're not Martin Falls, but you're out there doing a little bit. Then maybe you go out and you find other opportunities to get yourself on television, because that's your A work. And if you know that writing is not yours, outsource that so you have more energy for what you want, okay? And then you're going to, especially if you're in charge of things, you're going to identify, this is aggressively kind, identify where some people who are really difficult to be with, it's because if you look at their work, they're doing mostly C and D work. So you're going to want to take that away from them and give them what they're good at in the world. So if you can be somebody who holds space for somebody to actually be in their light and the things that actually work for them, they will actually shine brighter.
So what if
in your world.
nobody on your staff likes to do C and D work?
So it's time to find somebody who has your C and D work as their A work.
There you go.
Right? So you find
you were gonna
the right
give me that
people.
answer.
Exactly. So then you want to avoid qualifiers when you're communicating. So what people tend to do if they're non-assertive is that they go, this may not be a very good idea, but I'm just going to put it on your table and see what you think about it, right? Or, I'm sorry to interrupt, but right? Or, I've been thinking about something and I'm not really sure if it qualifiers, right? This is pre-apologies sometimes, but it basically is like, hey, this thing that I'm about to share with you, I don't value it that much.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I'm going to interrupt you.
Exactly. State what you want to state, ask for what you want and need, say no very clearly, and then end stop. And to that point, you want to make sure that you're not training people to interrupt you. So if you're the type of person who preaches, who rambles, who trails off, who doesn't have a clear ending, you're teaching people that they have to interrupt you to get in. So say what you have to say, and then period. Stop it. Okay. So very clear, very concise.
No, I'd rather not.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, good idea.
Or when you're telling a story, it has a complete end, and now you're done, right? And then people know that they can actually start talking at that point.
So we all have people at the table that go off on tangents, and everybody's going.
Yes. Teaching people to interrupt you and to disengage as well. The other thing is you want to be an initiator. You want to be the person, if you can, who does the first like, who does the introductions at the table, who speaks first. Because when you're the initiator, especially when you're giving a warm welcome and you're edifying people and introducing them, you're actually creating social lubrication, if you will, for the rest of the group. And it's a very kind thing to do. Remembering that study on popularity that was done across high schools, the people who were most liked were the people who liked the most people. They were the people who smiled the most in hallways. So if you're going into a meeting or a social setting, instead of thinking like, how can I make everyone here like me? She said, go in thinking to yourself, how can I like the most people? So when you start talking to somebody, a fun game to play would be pretend that you're going to introduce this new person to somebody very important that's going to help them. You need to extract the most interesting things out of them first. You ask those questions with the pretense that someone else in the room is real important and you're about to make a very important introduction. It will change the game, so you're not focused on yourself, you're focused on them, and the very interest that you have in them creates likability in you and creates you as assertive as well. Yes.
I can think of people in high school while you were saying that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody has
And they haven't changed.
example. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's about liking people. So the main thing about it is to remember that people who are assertive, they're more memorable. They are kind, respectful, and they're contagious. Their confidence is contagious, right? It's just a backdoor into confidence. So people like to be around assertive people because they want to feel more confident. They want to feel more competent. And so remember to know what you want first, know why you want it, and then be bold and clear in asking for it and saying no when it's not something that's in your wheelhouse.
Great topic. All right. Let's put that to work.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. We're going to see you next time right here on Good Vibes. Don't go away.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.